Here's the thing, guys, with the ketogenic lifestyle, calories actually do matter. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it is absolutely possible to eat too many calories and to gain weight, even if you're following a ketogenic lifestyle and eating the correct foods. But I'm gonna break this all down for you today and make this super simple for you to understand how many calories you need to be consuming to achieve your fat loss goals, and some common mistakes that a lot of people make when getting started on this lifestyle. So if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get straight into this one. Guys, let's talk about calories and the ketogenic lifestyle. I'm gonna run through so much information. I really do not want to overload you on all of this, but at the end, I'm going to tie it all together and make this super, super simple. Everything I do here on this channel is basically making keto simple, and so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to break it all down for you, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, there's going to be a ton of information, so please try not to get overwhelmed. So if you haven't seen my other video, How to Start Keto, that video basically breaks down all of the concepts of the ketogenic lifestyle and how to get started. In today's video, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on the calorie side of this lifestyle. And so if you haven't seen that one yet, you definitely want to check that out after this video. But today, you can definitely watch this video first and then go back and watch that one if you missed it. And it's located right there on my channel, and there's the link so you know where to find it. All right, so let's talk about fat loss and calories. So fat loss isn't just about the calories. There are hormonal responses to different types of calories. So as an example, protein stimulates the release of glucagon, which is a hormone that signals the body to burn stored fat. Okay, so that's really key and important. Now, fructose fails to lower the hunger hormone ghrelin. So that's how after you eat something that's high in sugar or high in carbs, you can still feel hungry right after you eat it. And then fat is more satisfying, makes you feel fuller longer than both of the above, causing you to eat less without feeling as hungry. So here's me before ketogenic lifestyle, before the keto diet. I was eating standard American diet. I just had my daughter Clara about around a month postpartum, and I was ready to get started on the ketogenic lifestyle. Now, I did not change or modify my calories. I did listen to my body's lead, and I would not eat if I was not hungry, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But this is an example how calories can be used as guidelines to help you understand the amount of calories that your body needs so that you don't go overboard. However, calories are not the main focus here. So to this day, I eat the same amount of calories that I did at my start. So that's really huge if you actually think about that, how this lifestyle is different. And the goal here really should be to focus on your metabolism. And so when you eat high fat and you're in a fat burning state, your body can handle a higher calorie load and still burn fat than it can on a low fat diet. So this is really, really important as you're getting started on this lifestyle, because I know a lot of people try to do a low carb diet plus low fat diet, and that ends up in starvation. You're going to do a huge impact on your metabolism. The goal is to increase your metabolism, right? So during calorie restriction, your metabolic rate drops for maintaining basic bodily functions. When you consume fewer calories, your body adjusts to how many calories it needs. This is why years and years and years and years of calorie restricting, cutting your calories way down, can do a huge impact on your metabolism, and it becomes harder and harder and harder for you to lose the fat and change your body composition when you have been calorie restricting for a long time. So burning fat with the ketogenic lifestyle by balancing macros, supporting hormones, without super strict calorie restriction, supports an increased metabolism for long-term sustainability of this lifestyle. And also you can eat more and still maintain your results, which is the goal. But here's the catch. You can still overeat on keto. And so that's why this video on calories is actually very important. Whereas we're not telling you to be looking at every single calorie that you are consuming. However, I will teach you exactly how to do this in a way that you can help your metabolism increase your metabolism, as well as burn fat and not go too crazy on like calorie counting, right? But it's very important for you to have a baseline idea of how many calories your body burns so that you don't go overboard and eat just way too much, because at the end of the day, you can eat just too much food in your body can store it, right? Just like anything else, it can store it. So the goal here is to pick your calorie goal so you have an idea of how much food is too much food for you, whereas kind of go through your day and have an idea of how much food will help you achieve your goals. So if you've been calorie counting for a while, I recommend that you pick a goal that aligns with what you are doing right now, and then you can increase your calories over time as you become fat adapted and as your body gets used to the lifestyle. So if you've been going years and years and years and years calorie counting, and now you're switching to keto, I don't recommend you just load up on a ton of keto calories out of nowhere and just shock your system. Kind of stick around the same calories you have been going and introduce and change the macros and the types of foods you're eating, and eventually you can start bumping up the amount of calories you had to consume within your day, so that you are going to heal your metabolism and allow things to work for you so that you can eat more and still maintain your results when you get to your goal. When in ketosis, you're able to eat more calories and still lose fat. And some days you might be less hungry and eat less, and some days you might eat more, and that is okay. So use the calories that we're about to break down here in a second as a baseline idea, but don't get too overly crazy about counting calories and making sure you're under or making sure you reach your calorie goal. That's not the goal of this. The goal of this is just to kind of get an idea so you know what you're doing, so that you don't just like go overboard or overeat or something like that. And it's also to help you kind of, especially for the people who like to know every single thing that's happening within their diet and how they are following this, so they make sure that they're doing it correctly. So I'm going to show you how to do this, but like I said, do not get overwhelmed, guys. If you need to come back to any of these slides, you can easily do that, because I'm going to create chapters within this YouTube video. And I don't know if you saw that new feature, but you can actually slide, and as you fast forward through the video, it will tell you what category you are on, so you can come back at any time. Now, how many calories do you need? To determine your total daily calorie needs, you're going to multiply your BMR, and I'm going to show you how to calculate your BMR in a second, by the appropriate activity factor as follows. So if you have little to no exercise, you're going to multiply the BMR by 1.2. If you are lightly active, 1 to 3 days of activity, you're going to multiply your BMR by 1.3. Again, I'm going to show you how to find your BMR in a second, so all of this makes sense. If you are moderately active, then and you work out, exercise, sports 3 to 5 days a week, you're going to multiply it by 1.55. And if you are very active, hardcore exercises 6 to 7 days a week, there's a calculation there for you. Okay, so let's keep going on here. And now, how to calculate your BMR. The BMR formula uses variables of height, weight, age, and gender to calculate the basal metabolic rate. This is more accurate than calculating calorie needs based on body weight alone. Now, the only factor it omits is lean body mass. So what that means is the ratio of muscle to fat a body has. That means the number that you get here, if you have more muscle on your body, then the number here could be slightly lower than what it actually is for your needs. Okay, so just keep that into consideration. It's possible that this number might be a little bit lower, but I guess it's better to err on the side of lower than the side of higher. So for women and men, it's broken down differently, and this is how you get the calculation. Now, I put together an example for you for a 35-year-old female that is 150 pounds and 5'7" tall. That's the height, okay, 5'7". And so if you take this calculation for the female, 655 plus, then you take that, you multiply the pounds in weight by 4.35 plus then the inches of 5'7", the inches, 4.7 times the inches, and then you subtract from that 6.8 multiplied by the age, 35 in this case, and you're gonna get the BMR of 1,384. Now that's not your daily calorie requirement, that's your BMR. Now we're gonna get the calorie requirement here by putting it all together. And the way you put this together is when you determine your total daily calorie needs, we will determine your total daily calorie needs by multiplying your BMR by the appropriate activity factor as follows. So for our example of our 35-year-old female that is 150 pounds and 5'7", if this person is lightly active, let's say they exercise 1 to 3 days a week, which I feel like is typical for the average person, you're going to find the calorie calculation here by taking the BMR and multiplying it by 1.375. So in our case here, her BMR was 1,384 multiplied by 1.375. This gives her calories to maintain that she can consume per day of 1,903. That means if this individual consumes more than 1,903, likely she's going to get into a situation where she's either plateaued or she might be gaining a little bit of weight. As I mentioned before, it is possible for this to happen on the ketogenic lifestyle. You can consume too many calories because your body has to do something with those calories. So storage is what it does. Now, if she consumes this amount or less than this amount, then she's going to start seeing the number on the scale dropping and it'll be fat loss. So she can consume 1,903 calories a day with the ketogenic lifestyle. Now remember, this to maintain is not factoring the keto lifestyle. Now if you're consuming these calories with ketogenic foods, you can still see some fat loss here. And that's why it's a huge benefit to be following keto. Now let's say you decided you wanted to go below your maintain level number of calories to create more of a deficit. So let's say she decides she wants to do 1,600 calories a day, which is still a high amount of calories. Typically people who like calorie restrict and go on low fat diets, their calories are around 1,200 calories. And so that's where it can get really, really low. Here, she's dropping it down to 1,600 calories. And I'm gonna break down for you how the calories, because this is a huge question I get asked all the time. Now remember, use this as knowledge for you, but do not worry, you do not have to memorize all of this. This is just very helpful for you to understand as you're going through this lifestyle so you don't get overwhelmed and confused, okay? Because it can be a lot of confusing information out there. Now, breaking down the calories, if you want to figure out how many calories of carbs, of protein, and of fat that you want to consume in your day to get the correct macronutrients of the ketogenic macro breakdown, which again, I explain all of this in that how to start keto video, the previous one. So you want to go back to that if you missed that section. Breaking down the calories though, if we're taking 1,600 calories, you're going to multiply it by 5% carbs to get the number of calories. Now this could be different for you, right? If you got your calculation previously, and you decide you want to have 2,000 calories in your day, clearly you're going to take 2,000, you're going to multiply it by 0.05 to get the amount of calories in your day that should be coming from this category. So we can see in this example, you have 1,600 calories and 1,200 calories of that is coming from fat. Okay, the fat in the diet. Now this can be fat that is integrated in with some of the protein, but not to overwhelm or confuse you. This is just so you can kind of get an idea of how this works. So now if we're going to break it down into grams, because this is the next question I get asked all the time, is how do I know how many grams I need to be eating? If you're looking at labels and you're trying to figure out, okay, I need to have, how many grams do I need to have of fat a day? Here it is. Okay, so this is based on the 1,600 calorie a day example we just gave previously. So 80 calories of carbs, and if you take a look at the bottom of this here, you can see 4 calories per 1 gram of carbohydrate, right? 4 calories per 1 gram of protein, and 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. So that means 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories. 1 gram of protein contains 4 calories. So knowing that, you can take, if you have 80 calories of carbs within what we just did before with our calculation, and you divide it by 4 calories per gram, you're gonna get 20 grams of carbs, okay? 320 calories of protein divided by 4 grams or 4 calories, right? It's going to give us 80 grams of protein. So you're going to be consuming 80 grams of protein if this was your calorie goal for the day. And then 120 calories of fat. This, you're looking at 133 grams of fat. Okay, so if you're looking at labels and you're trying to figure out, okay, how many grams does this keto diet for my day, like what number am I looking at? Okay, so I'm going to break it down even more simply for you so that you really don't get confused, because that's the last thing I want. And if you guys are getting any value out of this video, hit that like button so I'll know to create more content like this to help you guys with this lifestyle. All right, so ways to track. There's different ways that you can track this to make it easy, because you're probably wondering, okay, so I know what types of foods I'm supposed to eat. I understand how many calories I should be eating within a range, right? And I understand how to figure out the grams, and I understand, you know, my macro balance. So how do I track this? Now there's different ways. You can use an app. I like the Carb Manager app. There's a ton of different ones. You just search the App Store. Go into your phone, search your App Store, look for a macro calculator app, okay? And then from there, you can enter in the amount of calories that you want to stick to within your day, and then the macro percentages that you want to follow if you're following the ketogenic macros. I talked about that within the first How to Start Keto video, but very, very simply, you can adjust your macros how you want. If you have certain situations, like maybe you don't have a gallbladder or you have issues where you can't eat as high of fat, you can very easily adjust your macros a little bit. But use the app to enter in the foods that you eat. And as you're creating recipes, what I recommend is you enter in different recipes into the app and then divide it by the amount of servings you got from that meal to get your per meal macro total as well as calorie total. So you can do that also within an app, which makes it really easy. And then tracking the macronutrients and calories for every meal. So you can do this every single meal, every single snack that you eat. And this is very useful when you're first starting out, but it can be overwhelming and time consuming long term. So don't worry, I have something for you guys in that situation. And that's number 2. And this is the way most people who get started on keto understand the concepts, how they end up breaking it down within their day so they don't have to go overboard as far as tracking everything. And this is by visualizing your plate here. So here's our plate. This is a salad that I had. And this is an example of how this works. Now, not to confuse you with the macro percentages, right? Because this follows the ketogenic, low carb, high fat macro percentages in that we have 70% fat here. We have 5% carbs and then 25% protein, okay? So to show you how this works, because when it's actually plated up, it's gonna look differently. 50% of your plate is actually going to be salads and low carb vegetables, okay? So where 5% of your total calories comes from carbohydrates, this actually is very, it can have a larger portion within your plate because there's not very many calories within the vegetables, okay? So if that makes sense. 40% of this is going to be your protein. The eggs there, the chicken there, it's 40%. So 50% of it's the salad, 40% of it's the protein. And then 10% is the actual fats. Now fats are very calorie dense, right? So even though we have a high percentage of fat here, 70% of this meal is fat, it's taking up a smaller volume on the plate because it's very calorie dense. So that's where the dressing there is going to cover that for you, and the cheese in here too. So this is a very easy way for you to take a look at your meal and to figure out if you are following keto just by eyeballing it. You can do it this way, all right? Is half of my plate a salad, lettuce, and vegetables that are keto friendly? And is 40% of this protein? And is 10% of this fat? Really an easy way to break it down. Now, another thing you can do is intuitively eating, and this is the most common way, and this is lazy keto. Now, this basically takes the concept of what I just shared with you looking at your plate, but it takes it one step further, and you're really not necessarily paying attention to how much you are eating of each macro. More so, you're just eating the right types of food. So as long as it's on the keto-friendly food list, you can eat it in your day, and you can mix it up and make it however you want, and you're just following your body's hunger signals. Now, one of the best parts of the ketogenic lifestyle is that you're able to reset that switch within your mind, that hunger switch. All of a sudden, you're not going to be hungry you're going to be more satisfied on less food, and you're going to be able to go longer periods without eating. So that's one huge benefit of the ketogenic lifestyle. So this allows people to actually eat a lot less just naturally, and it's okay to listen to your body. So I don't want anyone getting to the end of the day and saying, okay, well, I need to eat more fats, or I need to eat more calories. If you're full, follow your body's lead. Don't try to hit a calorie goal because that's what your app says, or that's what your calculator says. Don't try to do that. What you can do is you can say, listen, I'm not hungry, so I'm not going to eat. And that is okay to listen to your body. Your body actually wants to start balancing things. And with the ketogenic lifestyle, it's going to start doing that. Now, so that's one huge question a lot of people ask me. And so I would like you guys to think of the calories as basically a target, but not something you actually have to be like, make sure that you reach that number exactly every single day. No, it's all right. And some days, on the flip side, you might find that you're more hungry, and it's okay to eat in that situation too. Some days I will eat 3,000 calories. Other days I will eat 1,200 calories. Your body's going to balance things out, and you should follow your body's lead. Your body is telling you something. Once you become fat adapted, and I'm going to have another video coming up all about fat adaptation and how that works. So if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that, and turn on the bell notification as well. So that's coming up soon. But the most important thing here is that you're going to keep your net carbs within 20 to 30 net carbs per day. You're going to eat the correct foods, and that food list is included with that video I just did on how to start keto. I'll put the link in the description so you can check that out if you missed that. But you're eating the right foods, and you're not too stressed out about anything else, but you're using it as a guideline, right? You're not just going to go overboard and eat like 5 pounds of steak and then, 10 pounds of cheese and all of that. You're not going to do that. You're just going to, you want to get results. I want you guys to get results. So hopefully this helped you. Here are some of the resources. The information that I gained to put this presentation together for you came from the books that I have listed here on my kit.co. So if you go to kit.co and you search my name, you can find keto low carb books that I have within the kit. And that's where I get most of the knowledge that I have about this lifestyle and how I broke it down for you. And then also the BMR formula. So this is where I got that formula to kind of walk you through how to calculate and figure out the amount of calories you want to be consuming, or at least the guideline that you kind of want to stay around to get results with this lifestyle. And once again, don't feel like you actually need to be counting every little thing you put in your mouth. That's where this diet is different than others. And so it's not so strict. It really isn't. It can be very flexible in your lifestyle, and it can get you incredible results when you stay on track with it long term. And so I will go into the details on that with a future video all about fat adaptation. And depending on the time that you're actually watching this video, that video might be available now. So you want to check out my channel to see. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you found it so interesting and it's helped you understand a little bit more about how the calorie equation enters into the ketogenic lifestyle. So if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you liked this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment. I do tons of giveaways on this channel
for people who are engaging with me and commenting on my videos. So I would love to get to know you and your goals and the results that you have achieved with this lifestyle. So pop it in the comments below. And thanks guys for watching this one. I'm gonna put the video that I think you should check out next coming up.